Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Carroll. Welcome to another episode of the Sales Factory. I've got a treat for you guys today. As always, I got Joe Crisara in the building from Service MVP. And today on the Sales Factory, I'm thrilled to welcome him here. He's widely known as America's service sales coach and the founder of Service MVP. After nearly 45 years in the trade, Joe's has become one of the world's most respected sales educators, authors, and entrepreneurs in the home service industry. Once a struggling contractor himself, deeply in debt and barely making ends meet, I can relate to that, Joe's completely transformed his business and life through a groundbreaking approach to service, sales, and leadership. Through Service MVP, he's trained thousands of owners, managers, and techs across HVAC, plumbing, electrical to triple their results, deliver top-notch customer service, and create opportunities that last. Joe's story and fail-proof strategies have helped everyone from startups to industry giants reach new heights. Guys, put your hands together and welcome Joe Crisara to the Sales Factory. Joe, welcome, man. Excited to have you here today.
Well, DJ, thank you. But I'm excited to be here. I mean, I'm as big of a fan of you. I think you're a sales leader too. Don't forget that. You're amazing, and I really love the show and all the value you bring to other people. So, great
Appreciate that, man.
minds think alike, and I think I feel like I'm at home right now. So, thank you for inviting me here.
Let's go, man. I love that. Joe, your journey kind of started as a failing contractor, and I can relate to that. The banks have showed up on me a couple of times, and I remember once I had a Toyota Tacoma, and just luckily, my dad was living with me at the time, and he had taken it down the street to get an oil change, and a tow truck pulls up out front, and dude knocks on the door. I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here to repossess this vehicle." And I was like, holy smokes, man. Because a lot of times, the bank throws that out for repossession. Like once it gets to a certain point, they don't talk to you anymore. They're just coming to get it. And so I've been in those shoes. Luckily, those days are long behind me, and the bills don't come on pink slips anymore, man. But for those of my audience that are listening right now that have never seen you, don't know who you are, why don't you take a second to kind of give them some background on your story and how you got to where you're at today?
Well, for years I prided myself on being the best, with the work I do. It's like a restaurant owner saying they make the best food or whatever. I thought I was the best air conditioning and plumbing professional, and I prided myself on my workmanship. But the work we do or the operation we do, I realized that somebody's got to pay for it, and that
Mm.
was the problem. Like I wasn't good at selling my own services, and so I thought that if I just did the best job possible, people would naturally just realize that you should buy from me. And of course, even when they did want to buy, I was, always trying to lower my prices. I said I had my mother in the truck, which I had my family history, the way I bought things, which was very frugal. And so I carried that mindset in to a very dysfunctional situation, starting my own business, and wound up very far in debt. It really wasn't, I was blaming the customers. I blamed the economy. I even blamed Bill Clinton for my business being back in the 90s, right? So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he did screw it up. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, he was screwing up all right.
Like, I don't think he did anything good for me, but nonetheless, I don't think he screwed my business up. I think it was me. What I finally realized is that this was on me and not even on politics or the economy or the
Yeah.
customer. Or it was just on me. The fact that I was not showing people, because one of my customers set me straight. His name was Dave, and Dave said, "Joe, why are you always trying to discount your prices? Why don't you just give us you should do the tiered pricing." Like, he was a pharmaceutical guy. He showed me how to do the science of pricing, which I now teach today. Even that's what I'm famous for, is for the trades, bringing in the premium, mid-range, and economy choices for everything we would do. Even when you answer the phone, there'd be a premium, mid-range, economy choice. If you got a service call, premium, mid-range, economy choice. There's a sales call, the premium, everything, right? And so by doing that, I was about $500,000 in debt in 1991, which today would be probably like 3 million in debt.
Right.
But I was debt free in about well, not exactly 3 years. January of 1991, I was 500,000 in debt. By December of 1994, I was debt free because of offering people solutions, not just for what they asked me for, but future solutions that they're going to need when they purchase the initial solution as well. And
Mm.
so, that really, made me realize that, what, this is really what I should be doing, is teaching other people who are suffering how to get their mother out of the truck and move things forward. So I'm proud to be here today. I got a lot of scars, probably like you do too, DJ. So we both got those. We wear those scars proudly because those are the things I remember that I'd never want to see anybody else suffer the way I did. And so, and I realized today that the way you sell your business, the way you sell your services, will create and shape the culture of your business. And I'm proud and honored to be doing what I call pure motive service, which is the motivation that you have, DJ, which I've heard so many times on your podcast, which is to serve other people. Make sense?
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Carroll, and I want to interrupt this podcast real quick to make sure you guys are getting your copy of the Hunter Head Game. You can go to thehunterheadgame.com and register for your copy. Everyone that registers will get a free copy of the audio book. It doesn't cost me anything to get that out to you, so it's one of the easiest ways for me to give back to the entrepreneur community. This book is really focused on the last 10 years of my life and all the lessons that I've learned along the way being an entrepreneur. I truly believe that the old world rewarded obedience, and we're in a new world that demands killer instincts. As we continue to see layoffs and we continue to see economic changes happen, the creator economy, the gig economy, I think this book will open your eyes and give you some much needed skills and a refresher. Even if you're an apex hunter already, I think there's some stuff in here that you could take away to sharpen your blade. So go to thehunterheadgame.com and pre-register for your copy. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've got a blog post on coachcarroll.com, and I call it the You Can't Operate a Business with Broke Bitch Mentality. And I see so many contractors, so many business, it's not just contractors, it's any business owner, that they take the employee mindset into being an entrepreneur and a business operator. And that employee mindset means like, okay, I only have so many dollars. I have limited resources. I have to make decisions based on how much money is in the bank account right now. And one of the best things that ever happened to me was one of my mentors, Matt Monero. He said, DJ, at some point, you have to stop negotiating the price of your success. And that, man, has stuck with me profoundly. And it's like the price is what the price is. And like you pay it and you keep rolling on, because the beauty of being an entrepreneur is like you can always make more money. Right? Like you can work a Saturday, you can work a few extra hours, you can run that extra service call. Like you can always make more money. And so a lot of times we step over hundreds and pick up tens, right? And I think that's what you mean by like getting your mom out of the truck. It's like how you operated, right? Like getting to that next level. Maybe what was the defining point for you, man, for you to change that mentality to where you stop trying to nickel and dime yourself to death? Because oftentimes it actually causes even more problems in the business.
Well, it's whenever you're locked into a dysfunctional mindset, the only way to change the paradigm or the way you see things is to take action. I say that I was in the financial prison that I put myself in. It wasn't something that the government or local government or state put me in prison. I was put in my own prison, fighting my own internal battles. So I was the enemy. It wasn't my competition or anything else like that. I was just negotiating against myself. Honestly, I was lowering the price before anybody even asked me to. Right. So then I took action. I did what Dave told me to do. I said, Joe, could you just shut up and just give people the prices and say the words right there. What should we do? He told me to ask that question. And I'm like, what? Say it again, Dave. He goes, yeah, what should we do? Just ask that question. And I'm like, that's going to cut it? And he goes, Joe, just try it. And the first call I went on, I would have probably gotten $75 for a flame sensor on a furnace. And I wound up getting $1,250 for the whole ignition system instead. I had a boiler with a pump that was bad, a coupler that was bad on a spring coupler. Would have been like $75. Well, I wound up selling 3 pumps and a zoning control and everything for $3,800. And I was selling the whole boiler for $3,200 at the time. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So that was the eye opener. Like, I can't believe in the first 2 calls I went on that I literally made as much, because I was selling furnaces for like $1,500 back then. So I made on 2 service calls what I would have made for 3 or 4 installs. Just and that today that same theme works. I mean, honestly, I was at in Seattle, Washington a couple weeks ago, and I seen a furnace with the ductwork leaking in the attic, and I'm like, your family's breathing fiberglass. I made the solutions to replace the duct system, and then so that's what happened. Those 2 calls were this kind of set the straight. And at the end of the first week, I sold. Go back to that place in Seattle. I wound up selling a duct system. I told the customer, hey, we can do the duct work and everything because it's all you put a new furnace in like 7 years ago, but you didn't do the duct work. Now it's got fiberglass inside the new furnace, so we can clean the new furnace or put a new one in. And they chose to do the repair. It was 21,000 to replace the supply and return ducts and do an air quality system, and a 10-year warranty we sold with it. So honestly, I'm famous for selling repairs that are just about as much as other people sell a whole equipment replacement for. And same with plumbing. Sometimes I'll just say, you know what, instead of call me for a water heater, and you wind up with a repipe, because I look at the big picture now, and I stop having my mother in the truck, and I start saying, you know what, I'm going to give the most permanent solution at the top, the professional solution in the middle, and the temporary solution at the bottom, and let people choose the one they want. Thank God, because of that philosophy, most people just choose the best or mid range, and very few people choose the least. So
I love that,
that's the
man.
story, That's it, and that's what I teach today, honestly. And I think the more confident you are in yourself, knowing you're standing on firm ground behind it, I think you're going to do good. Makes sense. I think confidence is one of those things that's an intangible that makes us all do better. Like you're confident in what you do. So
Well, and I'll tell you the tiered pricing, I learned that from Ken Finner, one of my mentors, about, the good, better, best model. And I mean, dude, it just will completely change a business. If a business owner is just given one price, that is something that they can put into place literally starting on your next call, that what you were going to charge them, that profit, that word profit is not a dirty word, right? Like, it's okay for businesses to make money. I was fortunate enough, while I was building my blue collar business, Easy Pro, which is a power wash and window cleaning business, that I had really good mentors that taught me these fundamentals of business, right? And for me, the tiered pricing approach, and then I also love the scheduling close, right? Which kind of alludes to yours, like, where should we go from here? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? It's like, for me, it's like, I always loved the, hey, Mr. Prospect, we'll do what you're telling me is X, Y, and Z. We can do that for this. Which day works better for you? Tuesday next week or Thursday? I've got openings on both days, right? It's like, don't even pause on the price and just go straight into the scheduling. I call that my scheduling close. Man, that one has closed so much business, because the cliffhanger is on when you want to get it scheduled, which means I'm already assuming that you want to get this done, right? And then you can go back and dive into the pricing if it becomes a problem. And so I love the tiered approach. I love how those, what I call them, cliffhanger closes, where you don't cliffhang on the price, you cliffhang on something else. And so where do you see a lot of times, why do guys not use this, other than, obviously, if you don't know it, if you don't know what you don't know, you can't put it into action. But do you think it's they just don't believe that they're worth that much?
yeah, I think I number one, it's interesting because that solution, the tiered pricing, when you said good, better, best, that is beginning the tiered pricing, starting at the bottom, the good, then better and best, and that will give you about 40% conversion to the better or best. But if you do the opposite and you do premium, mid-range, economy, which is the same thing, but you're starting with the premium option
The
first,
top. Yep.
then 80% will upgrade there, right? So, but here's why. When I first did this, I knew it turned my business around like in 1991. So I'm like, dude, everybody's got to, like, I saw so many people suffering in the people I went to trade meetings and stuff like that with. I'm like, I'm just going to, my sister at her house, I was like on a mission to let every business know he should be offering options. I even had a dog sitting service. I said you should do one where the dog has a TV in its own bedroom, and they did. They wound up changing every business. So every business I've ever done this with has changed the outcome of what they get to a much. It basically triples or quintuples the service people buy because you're offering more, right? Like I worked at a tire place that they consulted me for tires. Like we're having a hard time selling the whole set of tires. Everybody's just buying one or getting a thing fixed. And I looked at what they were doing, and sure enough, even though they're sitting with all these tires in the showroom, I'm like, dude, why aren't we offering the premium, mid-range, and economy where everybody gets a whole set of tires? And the guys at the place said, Joe, everybody is only asking us for the one tire or to fix it. So I think that's what it is. The consumer, DJ, they just call us with the most dysfunctional requests, not realizing that everything is connected in a way. It makes it like power washing. It's like, yeah, could you power wash? Just want to power wash the siding in the front or whatever. And it's like, dude, look at the side and the back, and look at your deck, and look at your drive. Like everything could be. I'm gonna give you an option where I power wash everything. One where I just do the front, the front porch and the sidewalk and the front of the house and the roof, whatever. And they say the bottom option, just what you asked me for, right? So by doing it that way, literally every business can do it. But I think it is like because you're not sure how to create value, you're afraid people are going to saying you're a rip-off artist, or I don't want to rip people off, or whatever they think it is. Maybe it is the self-esteem. I think everybody's got a different story, but I think really what it is they're kind of locked into this prison, like I said, this self-imposed prison based on what the industry norm is and what everybody is doing out there. And they're trying to fit into other businesses. But DJ, when you run a business, you're not here to fit in. You're here to be different. And differentiation is the key to your success. Make sense, DJ?
I love that, man. I love that. You guys will also notice how often he's saying my name. That's another thing. If you can get your customer's name and repeat that over, you'll build rapport quickly using that as a communication tactic. I want to break down something there though, because in the pricing on the one-sided house, because I do have a lot of the guys from the exterior cleaning world that follow this podcast. We get calls often, not a lot, because we have branded ourselves, right, to the higher tier client. We know who our ICP is, our ideal customer profile, but the customer that calls for a one side of the house, the sales call or basically it's not even the sales call at that point, the qualification call, I roll it a little something like this. So, if Joe's like, hey, DJ, I was just calling, I just got algae on the north side of my house, want to get you guys to come out and clean that out. I agree with the customer always in the beginning. Hey, totally understand that. You want to get that cleaned up. Joe, you got anything coming on, parties, anything like that? Like what triggered the call today? I want to know what the reason was. Like he wasn't just like walking by it. Maybe he was, but he may say, hey man, I'm never on that side of my house, but I saw it today and I want to get it taken care of. Cool, man. I can tell you on average, we typically don't just wash one side of the house, and here's why. Have you ever went to the car wash and just washed one side of your car? Right? And people are like, never, right? Absolutely not, right? And then I'll follow that up and I'll say, exactly, man. And the reason why you don't wash one side of your car is because the whole car is dirty when you take it to the car wash. Now, I understand you see that visible algae on the north side of your home, but Gloeocapsa magma, which is the scientific name. So now what am I doing? I'm building credibility that I'm not just chucking a truck that washes algae off a house. Gloeocapsa magma, or blue-green algae, it actually starts as a clear spore. So if you've got visibility on the north side of your house, you actually have an infestation, there's the word you use, on your entire home. You just may not be able to see it. And now people are like, oh my God, an infestation? That sounds terrible, right? And it's like, let's just get the whole thing done. Yeah. And then the other beauty is, Joe, if I can wash your entire home, not only does it make it look really, really nice on all four sides, but I can include our Easy Pro Easy Guarantee, which means if you see mold, mildew, or algae in the next 12 months, come out, we rewash your whole house for you absolutely free. And I'll tell you, you're only looking at a few dollars more to do the whole house versus if we just did one side. So can I go ahead and quote the whole house for you? And then once I've stepped them to going, yes, the whole house, then I'm going to do my packages, right, for the whole house. I basically have to get them away from that thing that they called for. And this comes from Steve Jobs as well. Steve Jobs said if I asked people, what improvements they wanted to their phone, they would have never came up with the idea for the iPhone, right? Like never in a million years would they said, yeah, take my CD player and smash it together with my mobile phone, right? And so sometimes you have to lead your customers. The customer doesn't always know what's best for them, right? And it's our job as solution providers to help them get the most amount of value out of the investment that they're going to spend. I truly believe that, man.
And how would the client know? Honestly, when you go, when I go to a car wash, I'm always stunned at all the value stack in the premium option. Like first, I'm like, oh, let's go get the car washed, and it's like, what am I looking at, $39 or whatever? And then I'm like, oh, hang on. They got the armor all on the tires. They got the interior cleaning. They got the detailing. They got the hand waxing. So there's different ways they could do it. I'm like, time I get done, I'm like, you know what? Let's just do the 129. And it's like I sold myself. It wasn't that I was sold, but it was that the menu's in front of me, and they do have the $39 and they have a $19 too, right? So, but same type of concept. It's just like you hit the nail on the head. Is that there's a kind of a value stack. You mentioned it. Like if you do the whole thing, it allows me to give you a warranty. And actually, in the business I teach people how to price the warranty into the premium solution too. So you can afford to go back and do it again. And because if you did all those, the whole bigger solution, it does give you financial freedom to serve your customer for no additional cost. To stand literally, we all know that standing behind your work is the mark of a true professional. However, you have to price in there to stand behind your work. You can't just stand behind your work and go broke. Like that's what I was doing for the first like 5 years of my business. I was standing behind my work to the point where my family was suffering. I couldn't stay in business. I lost employees because I wasn't pricing my services properly. And once I learned about the tiered pricing, the premium, mid-range, economy choices, I realized it's not about how much you charge for any individual item. It's really how the value is stacked, so people can find a solution that's right for them. And the price becomes irrelevant, honestly. People who say people shop on price, well, they will if that's only one thing they're going to buy. But if you're buying a bundle of stuff, well, then the individual prices are not displayed. They're just one. Like you buy a hamburger, you don't get a price on lettuce, tomato, mayo, and a burger and a bun. You get the whole bundle, and it's worth now. I can't believe prices are $10 for a Whopper, but
Yeah, man.
like $1.69. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting old. But anyway, you get the idea. You don't break down what it costs on a Whopper. You just say, I'm just going to get one. That's all there is to it. Make sense, DJ?
I agree with that, man. I tell people don't sell apples and oranges, sell a fruit basket, and then figure out the thing that you can put in that fruit basket that no one else even can do. Like me, like there has to be something, right? Like a lot of times when I tell that to the analogy I just gave you guys with like selling against the one-sided house and the warranty, guys are like, "You really do that warranty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, you would go back and wash their whole house for free? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And in the like 10 years that we've been doing this, I've had like 9 customers call me for that. And I don't try to skirt and figure out a way not to honor the warranty. For me, I train my team that like that's our one opportunity for the year to just go over the top, and like that's the person that we create our raving fan out of, right? There's this, people have heard that before, like you need to create raving fans out of your customer base. To me, like sure there's raving fans, but like find the 1 to 2 people when something goes wrong, because we're in a service business, right? And so really it's just like everybody's in customer service. We just also happen to fix their HVAC system, or we're all in customer service. We just happen to wash their windows. And so for me, man, I love when we get warranty claims, because I know in that customer's back of their mind, when they pick up that phone to call or they send that email, they're already going, I know this guy's going to try to find some way to not come do this work, right? Like we all know that. Like if anytime we buy a warranty, like we think they're going to try to weasel their way out of it. And we say, oh, man, no problem. We're so sorry that came back. Not only will we come back and touch up those spots that you're seeing, we'll wash the entire house for you for free. No worries. Let me see when we can get you in. Hey, look, I actually got an opening this week. We're going to slide you right in. I'll move some other stuff around to get to you. Now that customer is like, holy smokes, man. Like, guess what? They're never calling another company ever again, man. Like, it's, that is how you win that customer for life, is going above and beyond. I always like this too, Joe, is like, customer service doesn't happen until something goes wrong. Everybody can say they have the greatest customer service in the world. Customer service doesn't happen until something goes wrong.
Yeah. It does take like I always say, you mentioned profit a few times, and I always say everybody should have a sign in their business that sits right on the wall when you first walk in, and it should say, imagine this place was a place where we went to make money. Because it is. It's not a social club, or you want to go to church, that's your social club, or you want to go, that's fine. We don't got to get, you can invest in the church, but even that takes money. It's nothing is free. And it takes money to stay in business, whether you're a power washing business or any kind of service business, right? And
Yep.
like I had a garage floor company that's like, we can't do this for a garage floor. And I said, you can. I said, number one, who's got to move the stuff out of the garage? Oh, we just tell the client they got to move it. I'm like, what if you put it in a trailer with your branded trailer, and you put it in the front yard with all their stuff in it, and then you cleaned it as you put it back in the garage? And how about if you polish the floors once a year and you charge for that for 10 years? How about if you do plastic vinyl trim on the drywall to the floor? How about if you did storage system with slat walls and storage hooks and bins? And they're like, holy cow. So I got this garage floor company that normally would get about $3,000 to do coating on the garage floor. Now their average sales 14,000 because they're offering these additional services that people just
Yep.
say, yeah, that makes sense. It all goes together. Does that make sense there, DJ?
Yeah, man, that's so spot on. We're getting our deck rebuilt right now, and like the guy, he's like a little local guy that I'm using, and we were looking at it. They finally got the Trex down last night, and I told my wife, I said, "Man, this dude could have got me for another 20 grand," and she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Look at the fasteners they're using." And so it's like the Trex gap fasteners, so the gaps are all perfect. Like those little things like that matter. Like that was never told to me. It was just like, hey, what color do you want? He showed it to me out of a catalog. Like I told her, I was like, it makes me want to get in the deck building business, because like if you showed up with a box truck and in their driveway you set out big chunks of like finished space that they like, you bring the showroom to them, right? It's like, here's all the different colors and fill it and look at like, anytime you can add an experience to your business, to your service business, you can always demand more. Every single time, man, like nonstop. It's like it's impossible not to. And I think sometimes guys they're so fast with it, meaning like they just want to get to the buck and get to the next job. We just need another customer. We need another customer. And Alex Hermosi is great about talking about this. He said, index for profit per customer, not index for new customer. Meaning, don't do what just gets you the most customers. Being Walmart is a very difficult business model. You're better off indexing for making the absolute most money from each opportunity that you get, and then you only need a few hundred customers per year, right? You don't need thousands of customers. You need a few hundred customers, and if you're making big tickets off of each of those, you're going to be in a good spot, man.
I think the number one service opportunity killer is the service providers focus on the next call rather than the one you're on now. I completely agree with that. And that deck thing, why not under deck, lighting? So maybe some seating on the deck. People are asking you for a deck and maybe railings, and like, yeah, well, that's all we need, right? Well, how about some lighting under the rails, or how about some pathway lighting with a stair going down, or how about pathway lighting in the yard too, that's around the deck to make the deck look beautiful at night. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Barbecue grills on the deck and all kinds of things you can do. It's an outdoor living. It's not you're not selling a deck, you're selling outdoor living. So that when you and your family get home and DJ works a hard day of power washing, he can go in the backyard and have a nice dinner with his family on the beautiful outdoor patio. And we can all this is a time we spend together. It's really a family togetherness package more so than it is a deck. A deck is a place where people get together as family and friends, and we celebrate or we spend time together. So that's really the thing that's another thing I think I've learned over the years, DJ, is the emotional aspect of what people create. like, why does somebody want to power wash their house? Well, who is asking for the service? What did they say when they said we had to get this thing done? Well, my family's coming over for. I don't want my family seeing that green shit on the side of our house or whatever. And then
Right?
it's like, oh, okay. See, that's the emotional aspect of it. People are looking at the technical part, like, is the power washing worth it? You're gonna get lost on that if you do that. You have to say there's a technical part of the job and there's an emotional part of the job.
Yep.
People who have a high emotional intelligence who can say, I'm going to figure out what am I solving beyond hot water for a water heater, or beyond power washing, or beyond recoating a driveway, or coating the floor of a garage or the garage door, or whatever it is you're doing. There's something that goes beyond that goes with it in a way. And sometimes we stop short and we don't offer the premium choice because we think people are not going to want it. We're kind of, I would say, assumptions are the graveyard of lost opportunity, DJ. It makes
Oh, hold on. Say that. Assumptions are the graveyard of lost. Y'all better write that one down.
Write that one out. Get a T-shirt. It's quote worthy, right? Assumptions are the graveyard of lost opportunity, because we could
Mm.
have done something, but and honestly, it's not just for selling; it's for your family too. I thought my wife knew I was going to go this. No, you assumed you should have communicated with your wife. I thought my kids knew I loved them. You should have tell them you love them. Don't just assume they know it. So I think all the opportunity. I think the sales stuff we do together, DJ, you and I, it doesn't just go into the business. It also goes in our personal life too. And if you can't communicate value as a business person, or as a salesperson, or as an owner, you're probably not going to communicate value in your personal life too. Does that make sense, there, DJ?
Absolutely, man. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. It's funny. I had all these notes written down. I'm like, I'm just enjoying chatting with you, dude. I look down. I'm like, holy shit, we're almost out of time.
We just got each other.
We're almost out of time, man.
You and I could talk for hours. I can already tell that we'd be we never stop. We'd probably never stop talking. That'd be a problem, If we had an adult beverage, holy cow, it would be night.
Yeah, there's always, there's two different types of podcast guests, right? The ones that I've got to ask questions for to keep the thing moving, and then there's other podcasts where I get off and I'm like, that could have been a 3-hour Joe Rogan episode pretty easily, right?
Do that if you want to. Maybe we should do it. Let's go on live. We'll do a Twitter
Right.
live or
Well,
whatever.
I think the
But we should do it sometime. I'd be all for it.
absolutely. I think the emotional piece is such a big takeaway for my audience right now, because people oftentimes when they're in a sales role, one of the first things they have to learn is to stop selling with their own wallet. And I think a lot of times they never offer the premium option because they're like, there's no way that customer would pay this, right? I would never pay that, right? Well, you know what you also would never pay? You would probably never pay someone $14 million or $25 million to play one season in the NFL, right? Like that to me, man, the sports world, like fortunately this year, but in the past 10 years, unfortunately, I've been a Colts fan, an Indianapolis Colts fan, and it's been rough, right? But I'll tell you what's crazy to me. The year we had Phillips Rivers, the old man Phillip Rivers, was the same year that Brady played for the Buccaneers. Both of those guys got paid $25 million for that season. And so while you would look at a Tom Brady and probably say, yeah, sure, that's a bargain. Like somebody in Indianapolis thought Phillip Rivers was a bargain at $25 million. That or he had a really good agent. And so I think finding the emotional pain points that you can touch on are always super important in the sales process. And I love this, dude, because like a lot of times I don't get sales guys in the sales factory. A lot of times just entrepreneurs, and we're talking business, we're talking personal development. So this has been a super sales heavy episode, which I freaking love, man. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. And I'll tell you too, on the emotional side, that's why we train Allie, which is our AI platform. She answers all the calls for Easy Pro. She always asks, like, why'd you reach out to us? What made you call us today? Is there anything going on that we need to be aware of from timelines? Because if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm having a barbecue in a week, or hey, there's a graduation party next week. To me, one of the easiest ways to make more when you're selling is just to provide the service faster. Wealthy people will pay for the exact same result. They'll pay more if you can just do it quicker for them, right? If you can buy them back their time, you can compress that timeline. And so for us, a lot of times it's like, hey, Joe, your house wash would be $487. I can move some things around for you. It's going to cost you a $50 service fee for us to get you in this week, but I can make that happen if that's a value to you. And a lot of times, man, the beautiful thing about blue collar business is if you just answer your phone, if you just show up and you don't smell like beer and it looks like you've had a shower this week, and you do what you say you're going to do and you show up when you say you're going to show up, man, you're beating 85% of the fucking people in the market at that point. It's crazy.
I completely agree with you. And, I think that's really, I think, our ability to connect with people is really the only true way, not price or anything else. The true way to create value and differentiate ourselves is based on the relationship we create with our client and the friendship we display and the support, care, respect, and support for the clients that we have. Doing that, I think a lot of people say they do that already, but then they don't turn it into a tangible outcome to get the job done. They think, I made a friend, that was good, right? Yeah, it would have been better if we got the job done too, because now you'd be a friend who wouldn't just be wasting my time. You'd be a friend who was a friend and had a great time like you and I are having, but also the fact that we got the job done. And that's even better than having a friend who can get the work done for me is even better than a friend who just wastes my time and doesn't get the work done, right? So DJ, what a great, thanks for inviting. I didn't know, what a surprise it was. I didn't know I was going to have, I thought I was just going to meet another podcaster. I didn't know I was going to meet a new friend, but I did.
I love it, man. Well, Joe, before we bounce off of here, if people are interested in finding you online, checking out Service MVP more, how can they do that?
Well, first I'm going to check out your AI solution because it sounds amazing. I have mine too. We have a thing called the Option Builder. They can go to servicemvp.com and look at that. Also, we have optionbuilder.ai. So you can put in there those premium mid-range economy options and get them in 7 seconds. So if I took the price list for your company, put it into our AI app, and it would automatically create those premium mid-range economy choices with the warranty and everything within 7 seconds. And so it would tell you the problems with the current situation and the solutions with the situation in 7 seconds. And so we're really, that's moving right now. We probably have about 1,500 people who have purchased that solution. And it's really made a big difference for our clients and the people who have purchased that. So I invite anyone to go to optionbuilder.ai. You do that. The first option's free on me. How about that? If you do that, if you go to Service MVP, I'll get you some free videos if you want to go there, just to hear what we do. And I've been doing this for about 25 years now, doing the sales training and stuff like that. So we've created quite an enterprise here ourselves, which
Love
is,
it, man.
Definitely we're trying to always try what we can do to make sure we serve our clients just like you do, DJ. So thanks for inviting me here again. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. You guys go check that out. And if you haven't left a review, shared this out, or left a comment, if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or maybe you're just listening on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you give us a rating and a review. It helps us get the Sales Factory in front of more people to help more entrepreneurs. And as always, it's another episode of the Sales Factory. I'm your host, Coach Carroll. Until next time, hustle, it's worth it.